Greetings, divine mirrors, sacred, awakening, remembering, gods and goddesses, one and all. Thank you for showing up. Welcome to Voices of the Global Awakening, Tuesdays with Tess, episode number 39 consecutive weeks. And our topic today is going to be the liberating and empowering virtues of patience and forgiveness. You know, we toss those words around, certainly in the last 20, 30 years of the new age movement, maybe longer than that, but it's kind of taken on this cliche sort of thing, and it's abstract. And I had the privilege and the pleasure to have a conversation last week with a gentleman that really is embodying these things, patience and forgiveness, to such a profound extent. I invited him to be on this week so we could have a conversation about it. And, you all know, those of you who watch me on a regular basis know that I am a fascinated follower and believer in and practitioner of the power of the word as this alchemical tool that we have been given to think and speak our realities into existence, and to learn to be really, really mindful about our choice of words, because every time we speak, we are casting spells and we are passing sentences, and we want to be really present with ourselves as to what is coming out of our mouths, knowing and understanding more and more that we are actually creating as we speak, even as we think. And so the more we can become mindful and present and paying attention to the quality of the thoughts that we're thinking and the quality of the words that we're speaking, so that we are really becoming impeccable to make sure that what comes out of our mouth is what is intended and desired, not what is unintended and undesired. And so when we start to realize the significance of language and the concepts that they, or things that they represent, and we give ourselves the opportunity to really reflect upon and consider those concepts that we hear and express so freely and so regularly, and toss them around without very much weight to them. And then we really stop and consider what those words mean. And if we choose to embody those meanings as part of the core of who we are and what we represent and what we are a stand for, well, then we become congruent, and we become those who are considered to be trustworthy and impeccable, because there is a congruence with what we think, what we say, what we do. It's all aligned. And this is one of my prayers that I ask for, more and more, to please existence support me in becoming more and more aligned and congruent and in integrity with what I think, what I say, and what I do, and that I be able to be fully transparent, because there's nothing to hide. I am walking my talk. And so I'm seeing now that my special guest wants to join on video, and I'm going to bring him on in a moment. And before I do, I just want to say that this gentleman that has agreed to come on and talk with us is a delightful discovery of mine. He actually tuned in. This broadcast goes out, and this is kind of the reason that I so far have been keeping it here, because it's not like a Zoom link that you have to come upon or have or whatever, but you can actually, catch this if you're a vibrational match, if the medicine that is being delivered in a particular episode is a match for you, then law of attraction will have it cross your eyeballs at a particular moment. And that is what happened with this gentleman. And as you, if you tune in with me with any regularity, have heard me repeatedly offer to you and invite you that if you resonate with my consciousness and my perspective on existence, then I see you, Richard. I'm going to come and get you in 1 second. If you resonate with my consciousness and feel on any level that potentially a collaborative think tank, a heart tank between us might support you in having some liberation and an empowerment in your own experience, please send me a direct message, and we will arrange a little discovery video chat between the two of us, 20 to 30 minutes or so, and make a determination of whether we might be a good fit to do some spiritual tune-up together. That's my friend called, I see you, I'm coming to get you. My friend called what I do a spiritual tune-up. So if a spiritual tune-up is what you're looking for, then please reach out to me, and potentially I can support you. And so that's what happened with this gentleman. And he has become a client of mine. We've been meeting for the last few weeks. And just last week, we sort of meandered into this conversation, and I was so struck with his Buddha-like wisdom and countenance and what he is actually embodying, that I asked him to come and share with us, and he graciously agreed. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Richard Laporte onto this live stream. Let's see. I accept, add, and so haven't seen you in the person in live for a very, very long time. Hello, Richard. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Nervous. I'm like, I've got stage fright.
You've got stage fright? Well, I've got you. I'm holding you. It's
Okay.
You're in good hands. You're in good hands. Would you lower your camera a little so we could get your whole face? Awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. No toga today, huh?
Sorry? Well, actually,
No.
I'm wearing just a t-shirt.
Yeah,
Oops, I'm sorry. I figured let's put a t-shirt on his body and keep it. I don't want to scare anybody away. That's what it is.
I hear you. I hear you. Is it possible for you to keep the camera steady?
You know what? Let me see what I can do here. Let me see if I just
Okay.
get sideways. What's going to happen here?
No, you can't do that.
I cannot.
You are now sideways to us.
Oh,
We can.
okay.
Yeah, you have to keep it vertical.
A little way though. Let me find the right adjustment here. Okay. I need to get me one of those iPhone stands where you could actually put on there, and because when I researched earlier today, I Googled how to do a live or join a live feed on Facebook, and the gentleman who did it on the little review I saw on YouTube, the gentleman had a nice little stand for his phone. And
So you're a last minute crammer. We talked about you doing that research.
yes.
Like 5 days ago, and you did it today. I'm exactly like that. Don't feel bad. I just think it's funny.
Hey, you know what? I just hope that when it comes to the end of my beautiful existence on this earth, that I can procrastinate with that too. Okay.
You could what?
I can
Pull an A.
procrastinate with the
Oh,
my
I follow you. I follow you.
uh,
Yeah. Okay, a little more down so we get the, yeah, there you go. I got, yeah. If you can keep it right there, it's quite good.
okay. How's that? Okay.
Excellent. It's excellent. So thank you so much, Richard, for joining today. And
My pleasure.
if you would, I would love for you to share a little bit about if you recall how we came about to the conversation that we were having. And I'm also very interested in you sharing about your background in the church and that your particular the tenets of that you grew up with that shaped your character so profoundly.
Okay. Uh, how we how we got on this subject? Because last time we were having a session, you and I, by the door here to my room. First of all, I'm in an assisted living facility right now. Having 2 years ago, I had what they call a TAVR procedure, which is basically they replaced one of my atrial valves. And because I've been in a wheelchair for over 15 years, my recovery has been a lot slower. Uh, and right now, the heart is doing great. I'm excited about that. Um, and it's just about a matter right now, a matter of building my strength. Um, the So I'm meeting with a physical therapist as long as, for as many times as our beautiful government system will allow. And that's a frustrating thing to think about. Anyway, um,
Breathing, patience, patience and
but
forgiveness. First opportunity right there. We can come back.
so,
We can come
but
back.
last time we were getting ready for a meeting, I basically turned to the side. I asked one of the technicians to close my door because there was a lot of noise going on out here in the hallway. And you commented on how patient I was. That and I was like, well, yeah, that's who I am. Patience, and I found it. I have found patience to be um, quite an anchor for me in my life, and it's it's a gift that was given to me. I'm sure through my mom, my mother, and my father. May they both rest in peace. And so it's just one of those things. Hey, I'm just a lucky bearer of that patience, and it was given to me to carry on through my life. And the I read something recently that just totally I've been thinking about. I keep thinking about it. I read something that it said basically that from the time of our conception and then for the next 9 months, we have everything we need. You think about it. We're inside the mother's womb, receiving everything. We don't have to worry about anything. Everything is there for us. But then it's that time of that magic moment where we appear. And now we spend the next 90 years of our life trying to um, just trying to figure out, fill the voids that exist. Okay. And unfortunately, we have to fix my hair here a bit. There's still a little bit of panicky there going on. Okay. And oops, hold on a minute. Let me do something real quick here. I will unplug my phone. There we go. Okay. Now, there we go. Is that
Well,
better?
now we have all kinds of noise. Wait, it stopped. Okay.
Uh, so anyway, it was just an interesting statement that I read, and it was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I know from a very young age, I've always been there's always been a void inside of me that I still to this day at 6 years old I still try to I'm still searching. And interestingly, when I ran across your telecast a few weeks back, I go, this is an interesting person. And so it's just I think it's a spiritual thing that um, there's spiritual energy that goes on that we we are we are a part of that. I mean, we're basically born Uh, we are divine creation, and our mission is, is to live our life. Our not mission. Our goal. Our job is to live our life in a divine way. Okay, it's because we have divinity within us.
Hang on one second. Two things. I want to delve into that, live life in a divine way. And before we do, I'm going to ask you to plug the phone back in because the sound quality was much better.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I'm sorry.
Yeah. This is the cool stuff about doing live and being unapologetic about it. It's like we're live, we're dealing with technology, and we're not trying to look polished and perfect. We're divine humans.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. So
Okay, so going back to the goal is to live life in a divine way.
yeah,
Please say more about what that means to you.
basically the basic fundamentals of my existence. What was taught to me at a very young age was that the foundation of our existence on this earth is basically built on the strength that we get is from a solid foundation of love for our fellow people, our fellow brothers and sisters. Okay, so which is a beautiful thing. And then the framework, and is basically it's being a to live a life of tenderness and of peace. Okay, so that's basically what was bred into me at a very young age, and uh, I've made it my if you want to call it a mantra for my whole existence is to just love everybody, and also at the same time it's not you have to qualify that love is there's because there are people in your path of life that will hurt you, whether it's intentional or not. I give them the benefit of the doubt that it was not intentional, and you have to learn to forgive those people. And it not for them but for yourself, and that has allowed me to move on. I've had people throw me under the bus a few times, and I'm a tough cookie. I'll come back, but then finally I get smart and I say, okay, well, we're not going to uh, we will acknowledge, we will accept what has happened, but move on. And what you do is you reclassify those people in your life, and you don't hate them, but you at the same time they're in a different they're on a different shelf. Let's put it this way. So um,
There, there's a funny line in the musical Fiddler on the Roof,
okay,
which is, I don't know if you've ever seen it or not.
I have
It's yeah. But they're in a small little town in Poland in like the 1800s or whenever it was, and the fear was of the Tsar, and even then and there, the Jewish people were ostracized and stigmatized and all that kind of thing. So it was like people didn't really go around. They kept their Judaism under wraps, more in hiding. But somebody asked for a blessing for the Tsar, and so the rabbi said, "May God bless and keep the Tsar far away from us." So it's like that. It's those people that that have hurt you. Whether um, I mean, I would say that the highest perspective on is that it's all by divine design, right? It's all everybody's playing their part
you're
perfectly. Where
you're absolutely
Right. And I suppose if we can hold that kind of perspective, then we can understand that they showed up to be a catalyst in our life for a reason. We may not necessarily know in the moment how any good can come of that feeling that we're left with, but ultimately, when we can sort of rise up into that space of, I forgive them, I don't need to engage with them, I don't need to put myself in that position anymore. However, it only serves me to genuinely bless them, not just give lip service to it, but
Good.
mean it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keeping in mind that everybody that crosses your path, everybody that crosses your path is a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and you will learn the good stuff and the bad stuff about life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can appreciate that or be grateful for the fact that you have met many teachers in your life, right? That's what that helps. Overall, it helps to enhance your being and make you a
Mm-hmm.
person.
Absolutely, tremendously true. And so what I was struck by in that moment when you made the request or you're trying to get the attention of to get the door closed, and it's a really busy hallway
Yeah,
outside your door.
my
you
door is
know
the other way, so
what's that?
and my door is closed right now.
Yeah, it seems particularly peaceful in there at the moment, which is great. And what I was struck by was how respectful and soft spoken you were in your
Thank
patience, and that's and that was healing, and that was why we ended up in the conversation that we did, because it was like making sense of your journey, and as a archetype, as a mirror, as a like, well, this is what happens when we get into experiences that we don't understand, but we have to deal with, like you being in a hospital bed for 2 years.
you.
And what that, given your upbringing, and then this experience, it's like the level of patience and forgiveness that you have been given an opportunity to cultivate
Thank you. I appreciate that.
is so profound.
Acknowledgement. I
What's
said
that?
I appreciate the acknowledgement.
Well, it's profound because what struck me is it's something that you can give away just in your countenance. It's something that in the space, in the environment that you are being, and I said, like the Buddha, right? Like the Buddha, sitting in your stillness and your peace and your patience, asking for what you need in a humble way, not in an arrogant or a demanding way, and being kind and expansive to the people you're making the request of, that they can't necessarily jump to the moment that you make the request, and you have a spaciousness in you for that. For those of us who came from homes where there may have been a lot of short tempers and histrionics and childishness coming from the adults, there's like a trauma response.
Uh-huh.
There's a trauma response in the body, sort of expecting to be yelled at if our we make a request, or swinging to the other side of feeling like nobody's ever going to disrespect me again, and so I'm going to be demanding now, and I'm going to make people, expect people to jump when I call, and throw my authority around, and all this kind of stuff. So there's so many different ways that people respond to the the trauma of their childhood,
Okay.
and then they take it out into the world with them, and it's their normal.
Yeah. And also it also shows or really puts a spotlight on the importance of parents, the impact that a parent has on their child.
Correct.
There are some parents that just don't realize that your child is like a sponge. They absorb every one of your actions, every one of your words, even in the crib. The child doesn't speak yet, but he still picks up those vibes, And
this is something you were aware of as a parent, as you were parenting your daughters, your
uh,
4 daughters.
I, well, see, the thing is, I was, one of the things that I learned at a very young age is, is about the importance of weighing your words, um, when you are speaking in front of a child at in that lays in the crib. And there was but then you have to think, okay, first, obviously they can't hear you, but maybe it was the lesson was to start at that age, at that young age, you as a young parent, as a new parent, learn to be mindful, mindful of your children and the sensitivity of their existence.
Hmm.
So that's what it was. It was just being the advice to be careful to what you say in front of them as they lay in the crib was more to get you. It was like a boot camp as a parent to learn how to be a good parent as that child develops.
Did somebody say that to you, or did you
I
realize that
figured it out. Like,
you
hey,
what you figured it out? Yeah, yeah. Well, see, this is the part. This is what I'm talking about, Richard.
no, it's one of those things that and I'll tell you where that comes from is that one person that shared with me a long time ago about uh, that everybody that crosses your path is a teacher. It really that resonated with me, and it's like, okay, so you can kind of deviate, go off that line a little bit, and say, okay, every person that crosses your path, every experience that you encounter, there's a lesson to learn. Every experience is a lesson, is a teacher. And so, what do you learn from that experience? What do you learn from that situation? That's what you need to grasp out from it, the good and the bad.
Yes, yes. So, can you tell us a little bit about the um, religious sect that you were raised in and the basic tenets of that
Well,
church?
basically, and I never talk about it because I was given the gift of the Holy Spirit prior to my birth. Before I was conceived, my mother received through through consecration received the Spirit of God that she basically transferred into me upon my conception. So therefore, I was born with the Holy Spirit inside of me.
Can you say more what that means? Because I wasn't raised with a concept of it being outside of me to have it put into me. Do you know what I
I,
mean?
I think that's the distinction between my church and other churches. And everything is it's a belief system. Okay,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I was convinced enough to um, believe it. But at the same time, I don't want anybody to think there's any form of arrogance on my part when I talk about this, because it's very humbling, and I never talk about it because it's like, who are you? Because
Can you, to put a context in it, can you say something about the name of the church, the person who founded it, and what the basic belief system is in the church?
I can I'll give you some of the highlights, but it's like I said, this gentleman that founded the church was he basically uh, he basically was born. Uh, he was basically I'm trying to put it in understandable terms. He is basically the manifestation of the Holy Spirit on earth. Okay, and
According to,
according to his, he basically going back to the beginning of the church. He basically
which is back in the 1800s or
actually
early 9.
he was born in the late 1800s, and his church started 1914, early 1900s.
And
And
in Canada, was it Canada?
uh,
Or
yes, 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 it started in Canada. And
mhm,
he even went to he even went to the Vatican to meet with the Pope and
mhm.
convince some of his who he was. And of course, was laughed at and requested that he leave. I guess to get mildly. And so, but the thing is, he he uh, he found some people that listened to his story, and he was able to prove to them that his message was sincere. And so that's how it took off. And so, and like I said,
So can you say his name? It was yes, I was going to say that anyway. Rebecca is asking who is the he in this
his
conversation. So the name of the
his,
founder of the
his
church.
name is Eugene Richer Dit Laflèche, okay, which is Eugène Richer. And the name of the church is La Mission de l'Esprit Saint d'Eugène Richer de Laflèche, which translates to the mission of the Holy Spirit. It basically translates to the mission of the Holy Spirit. And
The mission of the Holy
like my
Spirit.
name, for instance, the way it's spelled has a biblical meaning behind it. Um, and I think we talked about it in our last conversation.
You can repeat that. You can say
Well,
it.
what
You
it is,
can say it if you feel to.
uh,
Yeah.
what it is, my name is spelled Richer. Okay, Richer. It's not Richard. It's Richer, because I think the short name for Richard is Dick, and of course I do have one, but I am not a Dick. So
No, you're
it's
not.
just so cool that I learned it. It's still funny to me. But anyway, in the name Richer, Richer, what happened is there was I don't know where it was or how it, anyway, it was explained to me that there was a rock formation in biblical times where purified water.
Hi, Kennedy. You said wrathful. Wrathful.
No, there was
W.
a rock formation.
But you said a wrathful
No, no,
community.
no. I said there was a rock formation going back.
Keep your phone steady. You're starting to get. Uh,
My hands are numb from holding it like this.
oh, can you get a book or something or something
Let me see.
stuck?
It's kind of because it's plugged in. It's like a
Because you're making us all dizzy out here right now. Don't.
see what I can do here. Okay. Oops. Oh my goodness.
Wait, your room. You just turned it around to your room. Okay.
I'll try this. I apologize. I'll try not to wiggle or move. I think it's my breathing that. Anyway. Uh,
Well, I don't want you to be
uh,
uncomfortable. I mean,
good.
this is not about suffering for the public.
So, no, what it is, in biblical times, it was explained to me that there was a rock formation, just like a bunch of rocks, okay? And from that rock there was water coming out of it, okay? Like you would see in a natural well or like spring water, and this water was a purified water. Now, to come up with and in French, a rock formation is called a rocher, which is spelled Rocher. Okay, if you take the letter O and you replace it with the letter I, it makes it you get my name, Richer. And
Which means,
why the letter I is, if you look at this, if you're into numerology, I is the ninth letter. Is the ninth letter is the it's actually the last letter. I mean the last number, because in our numbering system we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At 10 it repeats again. So 9 is like, it signifies the end of the numbers. And
right?
so and so that the having the word I in my name signifies that that the founder of our church, this is the last, this is the his arrival on this church was the basically the last chance that we have as humans, as people, to to be to be saved. Okay.
To shape up.
Ex-
To shape up.
There you go. There you go. And once again, I'm explaining all this. Please, I don't want anybody out there thinking I'm any better than anybody else. That's the last thing in my. It's like, hey, I'm just rich before.
You are one of the most humble humans I think I've met, so that's why I'm intrigued to share you with everybody. So,
So basically, that's where my name comes from. But it's basically the letter I has a meaning. It's just basically, and when it was explained to me that way, because I'll tell you, growing up as a child, and your name is spelled Richard, and everybody, and it should, people are thinking it should be Richard, or it should
mhm.
be, or it's like you have to. I went through a phase of my young life. I was embarrassed. Okay, it's like, man, I've got a weird name. Okay, but as I got older, and I understood the derivation of my name. It really, I became comfortable with it. And today it's like, hey, that's my name. That's who I am. And hey, whether you like it or not, I don't care. So, and then of course, there's always people that hear, hey, Richard, they go, that's a pretty cool name. You know, it's like you're destined to make a lot of money and be rich. I go, well, but not in a monetary way. So, okay. So that's the story behind my name. So, and
Okay, and the basic tenets of the church, what does, I mean, the core values that
it's
shaped your,
the core values are basically what I touched upon earlier. Is basically the foundation is love for one another, okay, and unconditional love for one another, and what in French what we call the la charpente, which is the framework, is basically uh, tenderness and kindness. Okay, so those are the basic tenets of the church. So you have a good solid foundation of love for one another, and you live a life of being kind and tender. And
this sounds so beautiful. It's almost like nirvana, like the way I imagine the way people are towards one another.
yeah, it is, and of course at my age now that and having lived through raising four beautiful daughters, and now I have nine beautiful granddaughters. I,
Amazing.
hey, this is where the good
Any boys at all?
no, no, no,
No.
the only,
Four daughters and nine granddaughters?
that's right. I'm a
Wow.
blessed man.
You
Like,
think that that has something to do with it too, being around all that feminine energy?
oh, it really helped me to work on my patience skills.
Right?
Okay? And no, what's really cool, Tess, is as I look back in retro, is right now I sit back as a grandfather. I sit back, a father and grandfather. I sit back and watch my daughters. I mean, my youngest is 33, my oldest is 42, and I look at uh, the beautiful people that they've become, the beautiful women that they've become, both internally and externally. More internally, because they have the qualities of the heart that will uh, get get them through many things in life, many of life's experiences, and uh, they at the same time are passing those qualities down to their children, their daughters. So yeah. All I can say, I'm a very blessed man to have to have been given that gift.
Let's just take a pause and a couple of breaths right there because there's so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you for being one who has been guided to be contemplative throughout your life and has chosen to be grateful for all of your experiences and for where your life journey has brought you to, and to have learned how to cultivate patience and forgiveness in spades in order to be there and be surrendered to being at the mercy of the people who are taking care of you and trusting them and trusting the divine and bringing us together.
Yeah, and on a little kind of a side note to this, my patience. I have a I have a neighbor here that in the adjacent room. She, she's a smoker, and it's it's like okay. Initially it was okay because it's just I I have because I've never been around. I've never smoked myself. It's like just the aroma of the cigarette. It's like, man, it was like it. I have to admit it bothered me, but now it's like I've chosen. I've made the decision to let it go
Wow.
because it's like I was feeling this anger building up inside of me, and I go, okay, wait a minute. There's something to be learned here. Maybe I need to tune up on my patience. So it's
Well, I mean, it's okay to sort of make your needs known too, just like you did with the front desk with the door,
like,
you know. I mean, because people don't necessarily know that they're affecting other people when they're doing their thing like that, you know.
I have of those that are distributed.
Rebecca says, "Thank you for sharing, Richard.
Oh, well, well,
How, what? I can't see it. Something. Lucker this world for your female love progeny. How luckier this world is for your female love progeny." That's sweet.
that is good. Well, thank you very much for saying that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool name. I like that.
So what is, like, you want to share with everybody what your plan, goal, intention is,
Oh,
it from where you're sitting right now, 2 years in a hospital bed, to where you're getting your energy lined up to get to.
right now, today, as a matter of fact, today was the I've embarked on a new uh, on a renewed uh, uh, journey to better health, and and I've I've started a very disciplined program that I received the products that I needed yesterday, and it's a very good, healthy program. It's very good for me, and I have to admit, this morning I woke up and there was a nice big bowl of oatmeal on my table with a slice of toast and some slices of apple. And I looked at that breakfast, and I looked at my boxes of product in the corner, and I go, I can start tomorrow, right? But then,
Your last bowl of oatmeal. Have to have that last bowl of oatmeal.
well, no, I'd rather have peanut butter and than crackers or. But it's just the fact that it's like, God, Rich, you seriously want to get smaller, and you're the only one that can do the work. And I've been what they call morbidly obese all my life, because I think if you're 40 pounds above your normal scale, they call it morbidly obese. Well, I'm a little bit more than that. I've got about 250 pounds to lose, and so that's like a few people, a couple of people, and,
That's deep.
and
That's deep.
it has to start somewhere, and it started today. Now,
Well, really, it started last week with your physical therapy starting, right? So you
yeah,
got that going on.
and as a matter of fact, yesterday was my last session with my physical therapist. Now the lords of the Medicare and Medi-Cal people have to they have to justify that I need oh, I'm sorry, that I need continued physical therapy. It's a no-brainer right there. But hey, oops, I'm so sorry. Probably stop doing that. I'm getting drunk myself. Just horrible. And I promise you, if you ever invite me to this thing, this program again, I will have one of these cute little stands I can put my phone on.
That's okay. It's okay. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Right.
Well, I so appreciate you, and I'm so honored to be connected to you and to be playing a little role in supporting you. And you're going from all angles. You're going body, mind, diet, spirit, all of it. You're just it's like, okay, you've been given this new lease on life, this opportunity to, because you told me when you had that surgery it was a 50-50 chance,
Yeah.
and
My surgeon came up to see me the night before. He goes, "Look, it's what they say, your affairs in order." I go, okay. It's like, you go, I'm being very honest with you. Thank you. I want my surgeon to be honest. He goes, yeah, you've got a 50-50 chance of pulling out of this. I went in with congestive heart failure, and what they did was an atrial valve replacement.
wait, we lost your sound. We lost your sound.
Oh, really?
Are you covering the mic?
Oh, maybe I am. How's that? Was that better?
Yes.
But yeah, I went in knowing that I might not wake up, and here I am 2 years later. But the the foolishness of it is, I've been foolish. That why have I not been more serious about the weight loss? About and I is it God? I've been given. I have the spirit, the universe, the keeper of the stars, has given me a second chance, or maybe a third chance, or a fourth chance. I don't know, but it's like maybe, but it's like I am. So this is why when this morning I looked at the breakfast, and then I looked at I go, okay, I'm going to have one of my flute fuelings that I get out from the program. And you know what? I felt really, really cool about it. After it was done, I had that with a really nice cup of hot coffee, which is the nectar of the gods, and it was great. I felt empowered. Okay, and so
Oh, so you didn't have the oatmeal?
not.
You had the.
Oh, no. I just took
Oh,
that.
I
Yeah.
misunderstood you. I thought you went for that
Oh, no.
one last
No, it's fine.
oatmeal bowl of
I,
oatmeal.
I was actually. It was very, and it was the look on the face of the caregiver when she came to get she goes around to pick up the dishes, right? And she looks at it and she gave me this look. I go, hey, and then I told her what I was doing. She just shook her head and walked away with the bowl of oatmeal and everything else. I said, but leave the coffee though. I need the coffee. So yeah,
The rocket fuel.
it was, and that little action on my part of staying strong, it was yeah. It's like okay, but like I say, it's hey, food. My addiction is food, and I'm the first one to admit I am an addict, and it's the only tricky part about this addiction, as opposed to the other addictions that exist out there, is food you need to survive. So it's not like you can say I'll stop cold turkey and not eat anymore, because no, you'll lose weight, but you'll die too. So it's like,
I might have some things to say about that, but I won't interrupt you right now. Other than
yeah.
that,
Anyway, so go ahead, please.
well, I mean, it's radical, and it's not where you are right now, and I mainly want to focus on, again, coming back to the liberating and empowering virtues of patience and forgiveness, because because for whatever reasons that your life journey brought you to this place of like this is, as they would call the come to Jesus moment of like
Yeah.
you gotta like wake up call, right?
And,
And in that wake up call, you have to offer yourself so much forgiveness, so much forgiveness, and then so much patience with yourself on top of it, right?
true, true.
So all these gifts and skills that you came in with, that you cultivated both from the influence of the church in which you grew up, but also your own sensibilities about looking around at life and going, wow, people need to love each other and they need to be more patient and kind and tender. And so now you get to do it with yourself.
And what's interesting is the little guy the little person that represents selfishness pops up his little head. He goes, "Are you being selfish?" No, it's like I'm not being selfish. I choose to take the time I need to take care of myself, and it's like so it's a good selfishness, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And you even have a particular retreat on your agenda down the road to really
I do,
underscore
I
that
do.
intention. Can we talk about that? Do you want to say anything about that?
Hey, well, you were talking about this slow queen retreat, and I said, hey, what about a slow king retreat? And it's like you open, and you were receptive to the idea, and hey, that's one of my long short term goals. So
So we're shooting for the end of the summer or the fall
that's some
that you will have shed enough excess weight to be able to move more gracefully and fluidly, and and then we'll deep dive into a really radical act of self-love, a slow king retreat.
that,
Yes,
that
for the divine in you, for the divine in you.
yeah, yeah, it's all good.
Thank you for knowing it and receiving it and allowing it.
Well, thank you for acknowledging it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Do you feel
I
complete?
do feel complete. If you have any other questions, I can, I will, because this is your program.
I don't feel like I have any. If anybody who's watching, yes, Rebecca, Slow King Retreat. I was in the middle of hosting a goddess sister for a Slow Queen retreat, and I happened to have a scheduled one-on-one, a spiritual tune-up coaching call with Richer. And I mentioned I happen to have somebody here who's in the middle of a Slow Queen retreat. And he said what he said. He said, Slow Queen, what about a Slow King? I'm like, yeah, I could probably do that. So yes, there's 2 tracks of retreats being birthed and put into play. So if anybody's interested in either of those, you can reach out. If you're interested in some spiritual coaching, you think we might be a good fit, reach out to me as Richard did. We didn't know each other from all the 8 billion on the planet before he was.
It's true. It's like, wow. Okay. It's one of those unanswered prayers that our paths did cross.
Well, thank you for giving yourself permission because I make this announcement every week and not everybody takes me up on it. So So you have living proof right here that Tess doesn't bite, and she even is convincing enough to get her private client to be willing to come on and talk on Facebook Live, which is epic, and I'm very proud of you. You did great, and yes,
I guess I just hit the little X and I'll be gone.
I believe
But I'll
so.
continue listening.
Thank.
I will continue listening. I just have,
Okay, thank you
but
so much for sharing your light and your wisdom and your beautiful Buddha countenance. I just feel so honored to get to reflect your greatness to you.
thank you. As you said, you gave me you gave me a name the other day. I was you called me a digital nomad.
Oh, well, that's your plan, right? You got your
Right.
business from your laptop right in your hospital bed. Your hospital room is like your practice resort lifestyle that you're going to go all over the world once you're back on your feet. You already got the business going. You got the model
Exactly.
down.
That,
You already have people serving you. I think you are very intelligent.
but I like that. I like digital nomad.
Okay, I can't take responsibility for that. That word is like in the zeitgeist. It's out in the culture. So you can look it up and read
I
all about it.
did. I did already.
Oh, you did. Okay, awesome.
So,
Awesome. Okay, well, I hope your daughters watched, or you can show them the replay later so they can be proud of you and how amazing you are. And I will see you for our one-on-one next time when we have that scheduled.
all right. Thank you very much.
Okay, blessings to you. Do you, oh, wait. Don't get up. Do you practice love with the world still? Are you a love preacher?
Is she asking me?
Yes.
No, no. If no, I don't. I I've never looked at myself that way, but it's
Even though you come from a lineage of that, right?
I do, I do, but I've never looked at myself. It's very humbling to think of myself that way. It's like I don't know. It's just but I, all I can say is that this is who I am. This is who I am. It's bred into me, and I've uh, I've seen enough arrogance in this world that it, it it was very distasteful to observe. And I told myself at a young age, this is not who you want to be, and or this is a quality that that you do not want emanating from you. And so, but preacher, how does she call that? A preacher of love?
Do you practice love with the world still? Are you a love preacher?
Uh, uh, I've never no. I don't go. I do not go around preaching it. It's just who I am. I just have normal conversations with normal people. So
Do you have the love of 9 granddaughters?
absolutely,
That is such a victory.
absolutely, yeah.
I was actually having a conversation with somebody this morning about somebody he knows who's 95 years old,
Okay,
and his children only live a couple of hours away,
okay,
and his children and his grandchildren never come to see him.
yeah. That is that is that is that is heart wrenching.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he must. What this gentleman needs to understand is that, or I guess understand is the fact that those children have a life, and I don't know what ages they are, but if they are knee deep in life as we were at one time, uh, what I the reason I say this, when my parents were elderly, I,
We're losing your words suddenly.
I now know where not to put my finger. Okay, it's right. The speaker's down there. Okay, I remember because as my parents were getting older and towards the end of their life, I I do one regret I do have is not having spent enough time with them. So and why was that? Is it because was it because I didn't like them? No, I love them to my core. But it's your actions that speak. They're my presence in their life.
Did they raise you? Were
Yes,
they tender and kind and patient?
absolutely,
Oh my
absolutely.
God, you are so blessed.
I am, because my parents, I'm sure they were not perfect parents. I mean, I'm sure they had their skirmishes, but they made it a point not to let the children see it. Okay, and
And not
also,
take it out on the children, not take it out on you.
right, right,
That's the
right.
big
It
one.
is there's some, and I learned a lot from that. That was a very good example for me to have in front of me, and hopefully, I was able to transfer that to my daughters. And so far, I'm very, very pleased at what I see. And it's like, yeah, it's just amazing to sit back and just watch their innocence when your granddaughter speaks to you in French, and it's like, wow, that is so cool. I mean, because
So gratifying.
I speak French fluently myself, but it's it it's like I have two granddaughters that live in Montreal, Canada, and my goodness, I just love to hear them speak. They speak with a little accent. They roll the R. They articulate beautifully in French, and it's like, wow, what a gift. And I listen carefully because I'm learning from them. So,
Wow.
but
Wow. I'm going to ask one more thing of you before you go. Can we just sit in silence for a few moments together so the people here can receive the blessing of your countenance?
absolutely.
Thank you. That was the moment. Go for it. Perfect timing, divine timing. Everything is perfect. Thank you so much. We'll let you go and stay on, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye. Well, how nice was that? He got it from his upbringing that to live life in a divine way, and that we are all divine. And look what existence produces when it instills such awareness in a young mind, and how it manifests throughout a life. That was Richard Laporte, and thank you so much, Richard, for coming on and sharing so transparently and humbly with all of us. It was really a gift to have you here. What am I seeing? There's nothing that's new there. So anyway, so our topic today is the liberating and empowering virtues of patience and forgiveness. So we still have about an hour-ish or so. And if anybody else wants to come on and chat, I'd be happy to welcome you. We can chat on this topic or whatever might be alive for you in a moment. And we can just be here and breathe and hold sacred presence, because just existing is enough to celebrate, to contribute, just our grateful countenance. we can remember that humans created the concept of time, and before humans compartmentalized time into these little rushing ticks, we were living in the eternal present. And when we live in the eternal present, there is an inherent trust in the organic unfolding of experience, and a lot more humble surrender to that organic unfolding. And then we, for whatever our reasons were, control, efficiency, decided to create calendars and clocks. And in that decision and giving our energy to those things and making them real, instead of them being useful tools and devices for us to coordinate with one another, we gave them so much power to have power over us, and so our lives became beholden to the clock and the calendar and the self-fulfilling conversation that we were taught about those things. And in giving our power over to this construct that we created called time, which is actually flexible and malleable, and on a certain level, not even existent. It's just always the eternal present. It's always now. However, by giving our energy to that construct and believing that it is real, we gave away our patience, and we gave away our peace. So as a modern society, we run around in a state of stress and angst and anxiousness because we feel like time is slipping away from us and running away from us, and we have to hurry up outside of our most divine, connected relationship with this sacred field in which we exist and our own bodies, our own beings. And we unconsciously surrender our divine birthright and our divine countenance for this hamster in the wheel, slave mentality, beholden to someone or something or some deadline outside of ourselves, which causes us to be impatient with ourselves and impatient with others. And in that impatience, we are no longer treating ourselves or one another in sacred ways. What's this new comment? I could write a book on the power of forgiveness, but I'm off to dinner. I'll catch up later. Oh, all these writing book threats, Lori Crystal. I look forward to you actually doing it and letting the rest of us in on your mad capers throughout your life. But anyway, We're here. This is Voices of the Global Awakening, Tuesdays with Tess, episode number 39. Our topic today is the liberating and empowering virtues of patience and forgiveness. And if you are interested in coming on, please indicate it in the chat or use that little icon at the bottom of the screen that alerts me to your interest. And if you are interested in learning how you can support this program besides sharing it on your pages and inviting other people to watch either live before or after the fact, you can also look in the description to see all sorts of different groups that you could join, where you could find my music ministry on Spotify. Support that if you wish, and I have all my cash apps, and if you would like to make a love offering. If you have any ideas about things that you would like discussed here, please reach out and let me know. If you are interested in exploring any one-on-one work together, either online spiritual tune-up or a slow king or a slow queen retreat, these are the offerings on the table right now, and it would be my pleasure to have a chat with you and see if we're a fit and if I can serve you. So that is my spiel, and we go back to our regularly scheduled broadcasting, which is all about patience and forgiveness today. And so if you have anything to say in the chat or you'd like to come on, please do let me know. I'm going to take a sip of water. Patience and forgiveness with ourselves, with others, with life itself. What if we could all be the Buddha? And we could all face experience with equanimity. And we realize that we didn't get so much of a roadmap. If we're lucky, we are born into and are raised in environments that bring us our lessons gently in terms of teaching us how to live and how to be, as our guest today, Richard, was saying. If the lessons that we are here to learn require that the teachings come through in harsh ways, hopefully we learn through contrast of that's not the way that I will be, that's not the way I want to be, this is the way. And we cultivate and we become people with ethics and values and morals that feel dignified and exalted and elegant. And we learn to be gracious, and we learn to extend that grace to others. And perhaps the most challenging is extending that grace to ourselves. giving ourselves that same level of patience and forgiveness when our demonstrations appear to fall short of our ideals. And no matter what, we remind ourselves that we are divine, even if we make mistakes. So to take the time to honor ourselves and one another, to be willing to step out of the flow, the cacophony. There's an energy that runs through the field of programmed society that is intense, and it is relentless, and it has hypnotized us to convince us that if we are not keeping up with it, then we are falling behind. And that is a wound, and that is hypnosis, and that is something that becoming present to, becoming aware of, and seeing the mania of it, seeing how ungrounded it is, and how unsupportive of feeling connected to our core, to our source, plugged in to the energy that is sustaining us. We are part of this field. There is no separation between us and the field in which we exist. So to slow down, to give ourselves permission to be present to the present, as in this sacred moment, as in the gift and blessing that getting to be here in these bodies, in these forms, in these personalities, in these experiences actually is. So to give ourselves permission to detach from the hectic pace and move into presence and move into the pace of grace, and begin by connecting with ourselves, with our own miraculous reflection in the miraculous mirror, in the miraculous realm in which we exist. And to simply sit with that reflection and give it empathy and give it compassion and be kind and be tender and be sensitive and be patient and be forgiving with our own reflection. Giving ourselves the kind of patience and forgiveness that we need to heal, to let ourselves off the hook, to realize there is nothing to keep up with. The gift is that we are alive in the present moment. Everything else is amazing window dressing. Everything. And we've been programmed to get so caught up in the details of the accomplishments or the shortcomings or the accidents or the mistakes or the regrets or the worries about the future and our vulnerability and all this that is in the field to destabilize us, to cause us to feel ill-equipped. So to snap out of that hypnosis and give ourselves the gift of the sacred present moment. So that we can slow ourselves down and calm down and face ourselves and see with our own eyes what our thoughts are doing to our reflection and how those thoughts are playing out in our so-called reality, the experience that we each have on our own unique journey. And the more quiet that we can become, and the more present we can become with our own selves, to realize the sacredness and the miraculousness of our very existence, no matter who we are, no matter where we are, no matter what is taking place. Time is malleable. Time is an illusion. We can slow it down. We can stretch it. We can give ourselves permission to come into our sacred center. Seek ye first the kingdom within, and all this will be added unto you. All that we are aspiring for is a feeling. We're longing to connect to a feeling that we believe if we could just hurry up to get to this or that, and if we can do it before it's too late, then we're going to be okay. But there's really only here and now to get to the being okay. And we can only get to the being okay if we can slow down to be with ourselves, to address whatever may be in the way of that. Patience, forgiveness, apologizing to ourselves. I'm sorry I've been so hard on you. I'm sorry I've expected and demanded so much of you. I'm sorry I've judged you for being inferior in some way. Please forgive me for all my mental violence. I see that you are a divine miracle. No matter what you look like, no matter what you think you have done or not done good enough, you cannot take away the inherent divinity that dwells in you. And when you find it for yourself, you can immediately extend it to everyone else. Because each and every one of us is an innocent, divine creation, walking around with programming and trauma that has knocked us off our center. And this illusion of rushing time keeps us from being patient and compassionate and forgiving with ourselves and each other. Feel free to take a deep breath. I feel that the difference between heaven and hell is a frequency, an energetic frequency at which we function. When we are amped up and ruled by the clock and the calendar and this insecure sense that we are behind and we've got to hurry up, we're in hell. We've completely given our power away to some external concept that is undermining our peace and our dignity. And when we claim, as my friend Jazz Muhin once said, she was here. She's an amazing woman. And she, by the way, Richard, if you're still listening, is a full-on breatharian and has been for many, many years. And if you don't know what that is, you could look it up and we could talk about it in our next session together. I personally have been on a 30 and a 40-day prayer and water fast. And if we haven't talked about that, we can talk about that too. But the point is that she talked about the concept of time, and she said, I am the master of time. Time is not the master of me. So, if we are each the master of time, and that's why one of the acronyms for TESS is time, or timeless energy space. I'm seeing myself as the coordinate latitude and longitude that is holding this dimension together. And so anyway, as the master of time, we can each choose to function at the pace of grace. Whatever that means to you. But try it on and notice how it feels in your body. Notice what it does for your breath. How much spaciousness it affords you. You are a divine being in a dream. Royal majesty, each and every one. So what if you allowed yourself the honor of functioning at the pace of grace? What would you look like? What would your life look like? How would you be different? How would you be relating differently to the people and the things and the animals and the creatures and the calendar and all the things around you if you were honoring yourself enough to function at the pace of grace? So let me take a time check here. It is 6:33 Pacific time. That means we've got about 27 minutes left, 27 being one of my favorite numbers because it's my birthday, which is in May, by the way. May 27th is my birthday. And it's the reason that this broadcast goes from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time, because it is 5 to 7, 5:27. This is my birthday. Richard, I love the statement, we are the master of time. Time is not our master. Yeah, isn't that great? Yes. Her name is Jazz Muhin, spelled Jasmuhen, Jazz Muhin, and she lives down under, I forget whether it's Australia or New Zealand, but somewhere there. And so yeah, is there anybody out there that feels like you want to come and chat with me? Please feel free to let me know. I'd love to check in with somebody else. I see Fanny, I see Georgia, Rebecca, Frank DeFalco, Raina, Kimmy Inch, Wowie, Juliana, Chris Fox, Jim Jones, Maya, Celeste, Look at all these lovely beings tuned in here. Stuart, hello, welcome. Kennedy was here for a little bit. I don't know if he's still here or not. Anyway, so grateful. So grateful to be here with you, mirrors, who are sharing this energy with me now. Yeah, patience with self means that I get to be okay with myself, with my technological blocks or whatever that keeps this broadcast in a particular space in terms of not becoming more polished and not becoming so far more professional with a wing person who's handling all the technology and doing all the marketing and all this kind of stuff, because every step of the way I'm feeling for my organic truth. Like, is what I'm doing genuinely in my heart to do, or am I programmed towards some need for visibility or influence or impact or any of those things? And again, in our culture, we're raised with these ideas that sort of drive us to our education and our goals in life and all this kind of stuff. But it's like a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, there can be something very enlivening and empowering about having these types of goals. But at the same time, if we allow those things to undermine our self-esteem, our sense of self-worth, our judging and weighing and measuring ourselves against some standard of this, grass is greener kind of idea that we have as we put celebrities and politicians and musicians on pedestals. And we use that to make ourselves feel bad and wrong about the lives that we are living. In fact, I wrote a song about it. It goes like this. Raised in a society obsessed with notoriety, a picture of anxiety was me. So hypnotized to seize the prize, ambition blinding me, never free. Till one day I awoke to realize it was a joke played upon the folk who could not see the nature of the lie that would destroy one's sense of pride in the life that God hath gave to thee. I've already made it, I've already won. The moon and the stars and the earth and the sun. I've already made it, I've already won. The moon and the stars and the earth and the sun. There's no one to be but the me that I am. One face of creation, one grand grain of sand. We deserve to treat ourselves with dignity, with compassion, with patience, with respect, with gentleness, gentleness, with tenderness, with forgiveness. We are in a self-fulfilling simulation that is a biofeedback loop. And the energy that we put out comes back to us. And if we have unhealed wounds inside of us that are festering, and we are not stopping to put our attention on them, to see what is going on in terms of our belief system, what we are holding on to and telling ourselves in our subconscious, the ways in which we are beating ourselves up and abusing ourselves. We have to bring these things from unconscious to conscious in order to heal, so that the experiences that we are attracting to us are more kind, more loving, more gentle, more generous, more tender, more compassionate. Does this make sense? So why in the topic I described it as the liberating and empowering virtues of patience and forgiveness is because these things, patience and forgiveness, these concepts that we throw around in this sort of, oh yeah, we got to forgive ourselves. Oh yeah, I should be more patient with myself. But don't actually do it. Don't actually do the work to put our honoring attention on ourselves first and foremost, because just like the metaphor with the oxygen mask on the airplane, in order for us to be able to genuinely give patience and compassion to others, we have to give it to ourselves. And to the degree you may have been hurt, injured, traumatized, that you have not felt that you have had the space to grieve, to purge, to rail, to allow all that stuck energy to come out, is to the degree in which you very likely are walking around with all this turmoil. That may well be blocking your good. So I can't speak enough about the importance of this time for yourself. Hang on. My dog wants to leave the room. Hold on. Go, Joey. Okay. Any thoughts or feelings you'd like to share, please feel free to type in the chat. I'd love to read them. And if there's anything you would like to come on to the live stream and join me, we've got about 15 minutes left, and that would be great. I hope that when I sit in silent presence with you, that you are able to pause and be in that space with me. This is where we get to feel the presence of the divine that is always there, always within and without. People say they don't feel their connection to source, to spirit. I contend the reason for that is the discomfort in giving ourselves permission to slow down and just be in the present moment with the present, with the presence. It is so sacred, and we are so sacred. We've been trained to take ourselves and each other and this miracle we call life so for granted. This is not a lot to ask of yourself, and it doesn't cost anything. We can liberate ourselves from all the stories of all our past mistakes and regrets and all the things that we worry that we won't get to accomplish. And we can really just get connected to what actually matters. richer. We need to understand that each one has within ourselves all the tools necessary to make positive changes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the way to do that is to honor ourselves enough to give ourselves permission to start watching our thoughts and noticing the dominant noise that is in the background creating our experience. And then we get to go, well, no wonder I keep attracting this type of experience and having that kind of a altercation or run-in. It's like I've got a story going on inside me about myself or life or the way people are or whatever it might be. And it is in the subconscious. It's not readily apparent. We have to be willing to patiently, compassionately be with ourselves to unravel all of this. The good news is that we get to change it, as you're saying. It's like a computer. You take out the corrupted program and you put the new one in. Only in our case, we have to identify it, just like we do with our metal computers. We have to identify it, and then we have to notice, okay, this is the negative statement that I am believing. Well, does it serve me to believe that? No. Well, which thought would feel better? And generally, it's the opposite of what we've been believing. And sometimes I will literally look for synonyms and antonyms on a Google search for when I identify like what that thing is that I'm believing. And it's like, well, what do I want to believe instead? And I start looking for that I am statement that I can make that will give me relief and will empower me. Richer, from the subconscious to the conscious mind. Yes. Yes, we take things from the subconscious and we make them conscious, and that is where we have the power to change them. So when I started on this path, first of all, I had no idea that it was going to take me as long as it has been taking to continue to ferret out those saboteurs, those undermining thoughts that have been wreaking havoc in my experience. Okay. However, as the game continues, I have started to get really facile at it, like really, really good at it, so that now it's kind of like, okay, bring it on. What else is there? What else is the story in the background that's running my experience that's causing me pain, that's causing me to suffer? Because it's like there it is again, and 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 it feels horrible. So, to have the patience, the compassion, the forgiveness, the curiosity, the excitement to go, okay, what is it? I want to figure out what's in my way because there's this like really wise and divine part that knows that we are all walking, talking, living, breathing miracles, and that this dimension is miraculous. So something about like why I feel all this pain and angst and is because there's something in my belief system, in my programming or my trauma response, decisions that I made that have caused me to engage with this dimension as if it is a hostile place, as if it is an uncaring place, as if it is disrespectful, as if everybody is all amped up and on speed all the time in this like single-minded pursuit to get stuff done, that nobody is actually like just dropped in and in the wow appreciating how blessed we are, how privileged we are. And when you start to figure it out, it's like, ugh, I don't want to be like bringing my toxic belief system into my engagements with others. So I have to take the time to figure out what inside of me is being projected out that is unsavory, that is unpleasant, and like go to work to keep, like, you know, replacing all that fear and angst and anger and resentment and hurt and uh, blame for gratitude, for gratitude, for patience with the other, for forgiveness with the other. But again, it starts with me. Evolution is a team sport. Are we having fun? It can be more and more fun. It can be more and more fun as we give ourselves permission to let ourselves off the hook, to be more gentle with ourselves, to be more relaxed with one another, give each other the benefit of the doubt more, take responsibility if we're projecting onto someone and we have, hurt them, and we get to go, okay, we are allies in each other's evolution, and I'm clunking around here just like you're clunking around here, and the best we can do is move towards more and more grace, move towards more and more finesse and mindfulness in how we are handling ourselves or handling our energy, our thoughts, our words, all of it. Am I being loving and honoring? Am I being respectful? Am I recognizing the divine in others, or am I just like thinking that I'm better because I get it and you don't get it yet? Like that's not it. Evolution is a team sport. I want to thank you so very, very much for spending this time with me. It has been a very, very rich conversation. If you haven't been here from the beginning, this replay will go on immediately afterwards, and feel free to watch. I had an amazing guest this evening. His name is Richard Laporte, and he is an embodiment of patience and forgiveness. And I was so struck by who he is and how he has come to be who he is that I asked him to join us, and he very graciously was here with me for a little over an hour, I think. So this was episode number 39 of Voices of the Global Awakening, Tuesdays with Tess. Well, intention is to be back next week with episode number 40, and the topic to be determined. And if you have any questions about how to connect, please feel free to look at the description above, and you are most welcome to reach out to me with a direct message for any exploration of one-on-one work together and any way that I can support you, or if you have any events that you would like to invite me to speak, to sing. I'm available for that, and I'm offering presently Slow King and Slow Queen retreats one-on-one, although they may expand to two people at a time so far, unless I move to a bigger venue. But very personal, very deep work, and very gratifying and mutually healing. So these are things that you can reach out about. And in the meantime, I wish you a beautiful unfolding of your eternally presenting themselves nows. And I look forward to seeing you in the next now that we come together. Infinite blessings. Okay, take care.